Hey folks, just another quick video about attitudes towards Age of Sigmar, and specifically those that are uncertain or undecided about the game. Don't make a quick decision. This will be a long period of transition. We're not talking weeks, we're talking months until we have a good idea of what the game is going to look like. There's an interview on gamesworkshop.com, which I've linked down below, and it's interesting because it's between Games Workshop and people in the industry in general. And Games Workshop states very explicitly that Age of Sigmar is not a head-to-head tournament-style game, and that if you want more competitive aspects, they encourage people to make their own rules. Now, a lot of people are kind of angry about that, but I'd point out in 8th, where we had a rigorous army composition and point system, people still made independent rule sets for tournaments, right? Independent composition scores and things like that. And I don't think anything's really changed in that regard. Basically, GW is simply encouraging the same principle. And many, in fact, are already making independent rules to make the game a little bit more balanced. Every edition of Fantasy and 40K features basic and advanced rules. Many of us that have played for a long time, we overlook that fact because we skip the basic rules. We know them. But for many new players, it's a great way to introduce them to the game. We do know, for instance, this is pretty much very, very certain, that there will be more advanced rules coming down the line, right? There are campaigns coming up in just a month or two that will have advanced rule sets of some sort for scenarios, missions, the whole campaign. Whether or not that contains a comprehensive list building metric is really still unknown. There are rumors to that effect, so I wouldn't completely rule that out. It is possible that GW will still make some sort of official army building composition list. But I think for the time being, we should do as they say and just make one up ourselves among us. Each individual gaming group can do that, or between the 2 or 3 people that you play. You can definitely do that. The game as it is can be competitive if you have a good amicable relationship with your opponent, right? We all know what exploitation is, so just don't do it. It's that simple. If you play with 2 reasonably balanced armies, the game can be competitive. But the thing is that it's really, those basic rules are really designed for people that buy the box set. For 4 pages of rules is really basic to us that have been playing for years, but for a new player, it's still probably pretty complicated. The armies out of the box are probably still fairly balanced. The problem of unbalance comes from us. It's those of us that have all the models already. That's where the unbalance. And if we can restrict ourselves, we know what exploitation is, right? If we can restrict that, and it's easy to do, then the game can be competitive, and perhaps more importantly, it will be fun. We have the war scrolls, we have the formations, we should run with that, and as long as we're reasonable, we'll enjoy ourselves. Now, certain scenarios you might want to be outnumbered. If you're outnumbered by a little bit, that's fine. It's really the quality of the troops. I think that's the biggest issue, right? If you have super elite troops, the exact same number as rank and file on the other side. But we know that's not balanced, so we shouldn't be playing like that if we want a competitive game. So the game as it is currently is more geared towards beer and pretzel games, right? I suppose I'm just fine with that. I like beer and I like pretzels, so I'm fine playing those types of games. You can, if you want, make it competitive. That's great. Do that. The bottom line with this game, don't make a quick decision. Don't put your models on eBay for, practically free. There are more advanced rules coming. Wait a couple months before we know. The game just came out, 2 days ago. And most of us don't even have our hands on it, right? I mean, it won't even be, mailed out for like another week. So just cool your jets, play the game as it is, have fun, and wait to see what happens. All right, appreciate the views. Have a good one.